Welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is clinical research and data management. So I will give you an insight on what is this clinical research and data management, what are the scope of this studies, and what are the job prospects for clinical data and management for biotechnology graduates. So coming to what is clinical research, this is a field of healthcare which basically is required to determine the safety and efficacy of any drug or any vaccine. So we know that this COVID pandemic has made us aware about the concepts of vaccine and drugs, and everybody are aware about these concepts now. So this kind of drugs and vaccines to come to the market, they go through a rigorous phase of clinical research. And this is not only for drugs and vaccines, even medical devices and diagnostic products go through this process. So there are various stages of this clinical trials. It starts from the preclinical trials. Then in the clinical trials, again, you have phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, where the number of participants in this particular studies goes on increasing. This is basically to test the safety and efficacy of the product. And finally, it comes to the market. So during this process, a lot of data management is required. And for that, we require CDM, that is the clinical data management. Not only during the clinical trials, even after the clinical trials, once the drug comes to the market, there is something called as the pharmacovigilance studies, that is the post-market and surveillance. Okay, so this kind of studies also requires a lot of data management and the data to be generated, to be submitted to the regulatory authorities. So all this requires a lot of management of data, and lot of database management systems are required there. So in this way, the clinical research works. So coming to the regulatory framework for clinical trials. So in India, we have the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. So this is a national regulatory authority which is applicable for India. And under that, they have the Drug Control General of India, DCGI, which is the official of CDSCO. This is the final body which gives approval for the clinical trials in India. So basically what happens is the application is filed, so the clinical trial application. So this will be filed by the sponsor or the academic investigator. So whoever is interested in this clinical trial, that is maybe a person has produced a particular drug. So this application will be submitted as a new drug application to the advisory committee. So it is called as the New Drug Advisory Committee. So this committee is under the CDSCO, as I told you, and that they will review it in accordance with NDAC. So there will be a review by both of these committees. And finally, there will be a meeting. The personal meeting will be done with the sponsor, academic investigator, so that there will be a presentation done and there will be question and answer session. So if there are any clarifications, they will ask the questions, and the applicant will justify the need of the study and what kind of study is going to be done. So the protocols, all that details will be told. So finally, if the presentation is justified and they are okay with the study, it will be approved. Otherwise, the application will be rejected. So in case you want to do any kind of clinical trials in India, the prerequisite is you have to take permission from the DCGI, and you have to have approvals from the respective ethical committee. So if the sponsor is doing it in their institution, the institutional review committee will be there. They have to they have to approve the study. And in accordance with that, you will also have to register with the ICMR. So the ICMR have maintained their website. So in their website, you also have to register there. The entire process of this filing the application and getting it approved for the clinical trials may take about 4 to 8 months. So as I told you, the clinical data management requires, it involves a lot of data management. So it is a completely computer-based work. So it is completely dry lab kind of work. So once you have finished the clinical trials, and even after clinical trials, a lot of data collection, integration and validation will be required. So all this data is kind of work will be done by the clinical data management system. So there will be people working under this category. So they basically try to collect the data from the clinical trials, preclinical trials. They try to analyze the data, integrate the data, validate the data to see if it is right or not, and finally make the reports which are ready for regulatory approval from the authorities. So error minimization is the main motto of CDM. So they use the case reform forms. It is called as the case report forms, CRFs. So these kind of forms will help in data collection. So this might be a paper type, it might be electronic type, or it might be remote type. So there are different types of data report forms. So these forms will be used for data collections. And during the CDM process, there is something called as CDF tracking. So to know at what stage this form is. So might be it is in the clinical trial stage, it is in the preclinical trial stage. So the tracking will be done on a continuous basis. And then you have the database management system where the entire data of this will be stored. And a lot of programming languages also will be used during this process. And SAS programming is one important thing that will be used. So this is very important programming language which is required for data documentation, analysis, validation, and it can also be used for reporting. So the data report preparation as per the FDA guidelines. So there are formats available. So using SAS programming, even you can make the report ready as per the guidelines. So the case the forms which I told you, those are the most important thing because that is the first line where you get your data. So these forms, when you design, it should be very clear and concise. And because you can collect multiple data from this particular form. And it should be ready. So this kind of form should be ready even before the patients have enrolled for the study. So we have seen about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials. So before this starts itself, this kind of form should be ready. And the CRF form should be designed in a very well manner so that you do not miss any data. Whatever data is very much essential, that will be recorded within these forms. And you have to get it approved from the client or the sponsor also. So there are certain people who are working under this area. So they will help you in creation of these forms. And that can be used by the sponsor or the client. So this is just to show you an example of a poorly designed CRF form, a part of it, and a well-designed form. So you can see the date of visit. Simply if you put like this line, it doesn't make sense. But if you give this boxes along with the format, it becomes a well-designed format. So similar way, the blood pressure, pulse, temperature, whatever is your parameter, you just check the left-hand side and the right-hand side. You can see how well this is designed in comparison with this. So in this way, you have to try to design your CRF forms very precisely and concisely so that you do not miss any important data. So this CRDM is a completely dry lab job, and there is good job opportunity in this particular field. And this pandemic situation has made it even more opportunities have been created because of that. And most of these companies are there in Bangalore and Hyderabad. And there are a lot of postgraduate diploma courses or certification courses which are basically focusing on this kind of clinical research, which basically spreads from 6 months to 1 year course, and it might range from 25K to 1.5 lakhs. Sorry, this is not 1,000, it should be lakhs. So, but actually, if you have already done your BE in biotechnology, this actually, the diploma course further is not required actually, because if you have your basics strong, you would already have studied this subject, that is clinical research and data management. And even SAS programming is introduced in few of the curriculum, so that can be used effectively. So basically this clinical research, it includes the management of this clinical data, preclinical data. It also involves the management of data during the pharmacovigilance studies and other studies here. So there are different people who are involved here. So clinical trial coordinator and CRF designers. So these are the people who basically design the protocols, design the CRF forms and etc. So other than that, they are clinical trial managers. So these are the people who will monitor each and every process. So they are the monitoring side. And you have the database designers who will entirely design the database, and they will be involved in the activation of the database, testing in between, and locking in the final stages. So once the clinical trials and everything is completed, finally the database locking has to be done. So that also will be done by the database designers. So coming to the various groups that are involved in this particular study. So basically it is with the data management, as I told you. So data cleaning steps are very, very important. So how you collect the data, how you interpret the data, how you validate the data. So those steps comes under the data cleaning. So for this data cleaning, you will require the help of biostatisticians. So they will do the statistical part. They will see if your data is validated. So this kind of statistical data will be generated by them, which will be used for data cleaning process. And even the programming team will have their job to be done. So all these three will work hand in hand so that finally your clinical data can be managed in an effective way. So the programming team can also help. Basically, the SAS programmers can help in the formatting of the reports also, and that formatted report can be submitted for the regulatory authorities for approval. So if the reports can be done easily with the programming, that would be a helpful task. That would save on your time, and it would save on your energy also, so that you can quickly submit your reports to the regulatory authority and get your product approved so that you can move to the market. So once the clinical trial is approved, then finally you can try to do the marketing studies and other kind of pharmacovigilance studies also, and there also data management is very, very essential. So coming to the actual conduct process, how exactly this process works. So basically first they create the database and they do the database activation, as I told you. So the database designers do this job. So then the data entry job is coming into picture. So this kind of data entry job, basically from the CRF forms, if it is a paper type or if it is electronic type, that data will be entered into the database. So it might be entered by a third party also. So in case it is a multidisciplinary work where multiple units are working in this particular field, then each party from the remote places can enter the data into the database. So this kind of data entry will be done in the system. And finally, once all the data is entered, the discrepancy management will be done by the data managers. So there might be certain noise errors in the data entry. So all that kind of thing will be rectified by the data managers. And finally, the coding will be done, medical data coding, and there will be suitable checks which are done, and they will compare it with the safety data. So there are certain safety databases and safety data which are available. So they compare their data with the safety data to check if they are within the standards. And finally, if there are any issues, they can post that query to the sponsor, whoever has told to do this kind of study. And this query generation and management will be done. So the query will be generated and the sponsors respond to their questions. So in this way, there will be communication that is happening between the sponsor and the database management system, the people working in this area. And finally, the data will be cleaned, and the clean data will be reported and will be submitted for regulatory approval. So this is the actual process, how the database management system, the people working in this area, they work upon. So coming to the job responsibilities of these kind of people, so they will have a lot of timelines, like they have to finish the reporting within this time. So like some timelines will be there, and data management and analysis part will be there. So they may have to work with statisticians, as I told you. They also may have to work with the hospitals, they may have to work with the lab so that they collect the data. So basically when you have data collection, you'll have to work with multiple hospitals, multiple labs, etc. And job opportunities, you have a lot of opportunities in the CROs, that is the contract research organizations. You can have a lot of opportunities in the pharma industries. There are a lot of clinical research companies itself. So there also a lot of job opportunities are there. So basically you should have a good communication skill, and you should know how to work within a team, because there are a lot of people involved here. So a lot of team working is required. So this is the most important thing that is required. So if you are planning to go into this field of CRDM. So if you have already done your BE in biotechnology, or you are pursuing your BE in biotechnology now, when you have this subject, you have to see to it that you have your basics right. So just you should know the basic details about clinical trials, what are the good laboratory practices, good manufacturing practices, and some details about the regulatory authorities and frameworks which are required during this process. So basic outline would be more than sufficient. And CRDM is now even used very widely for medical equipments too. You might have heard about oxygen concentrators, which are used for COVID management. So that also requires the clinical studies. So in this way, there's a lot of scope coming up, and freshers definitely have a lot of scope here. So not only BE biotechnology students, even B Pharma students, M Pharma students, BSc, MSc students also can go into this area. And if you're initially thinking of entering this field as a fresher, as a trainee, when you join, you may get a package of 2.7 lakhs per annum. And BE biotechnology, as I told you, that would be sufficient. You need not do a post-graduation diploma again. But you can study different programming languages if you are interested in, because if you learn this kind of programming languages, it would be a bonus for you, because it will help you in shifting between the departments. So basically, when I spoke to some students who are already working in this area, they told me that the SAS programmers, they get more paid in comparison with the other people who are working inside there. So in this way, if you know some details on the programming side, it can be a plus point for you. And the database that they manage, they require SAS programmers for the checks which are done regularly. So you need not spend a lot of money on the PG diploma courses, but instead of that, you can spend some time with the MOOC courses. Like there are a lot of courses available on Coursera, there are courses available on Udemy. You can make use of this. So there are few courses which are actually for 7,000, but there is a option for financial aid. So if you click on this and fill the details, you can get this course free of cost. So in this way, there are some courses available in Coursera, and even in Udemy, there are some courses. So you can try to register for those courses and try to get some knowledge in case you have forgotten the subjects already studied. So these are few SAS programming courses available in Udemy. So you can just see it is just for 385 rupees. It is hardly anything. Anybody can afford this. So in this way, you can make your basics strong in case you have forgotten the subjects and you want to learn something new, that is SAS programming or something. So this can be a good platform for studying. So these are few clinical research and pharmacovigilance companies which are available in Bangalore. I made a list of few of them. So you can try in these companies because these are the companies which are basically focusing on clinical research and pharmacovigilance studies. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me till date. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel, and please share your feedback in the comment section so that I get to know what other topics do you want me to make videos on. Thank you.